We're here at the Hay Station parking lot, which commemorates the Hay Station massacre. But today we're going to be talking about a battle that occurred about 5 miles from here, and it's the Battle of Mudlick Creek. On this blustery February day, conditions may not have been too dissimilar from what happened at Mudlick Creek. And that battle occurred on March the 2nd of 1781. And this is during the time when the Loyalists in the backcountry were stationed at 96. The Battle of Cowpens had occurred in January of 1781. And after the Battle of Cowpens, now Daniel Morgan has 600 captured British regulars. The cream of the British crop is what he has captured, which he captured them at Cowpens. And he wants to take those prisoners and march them into the prison camps in Virginia, as well as resupply his army and so forth in the race to the Dan. So how do you escort those 600 of the best soldiers that the British have? How do you escort them through the backcountry of North Carolina? And what Daniel Morgan chose and decided to do was to assign Andrew Pickens that role. So Andrew Pickens had about 400 or 500 of the South Carolina militiamen who performed so heroically at Cowpens. Andrew Pickens was escorting the cream of the British crop to prison camps in Virginia. And Andrew Pickens and his men did not cross the Dan, and we're talking about the time of the race to the Dan. But they got up to it, and at that point, Nathaniel Greene discharged them, and they came back to South Carolina. But while they were gone, there was a void in the backcountry of South Carolina. The British fort at 96 was still there, and it was quite active. And as the South Carolina militia started, moving away, this immediate area became more and more vulnerable. And there was a garrison at Fort Williams, which is 15 miles from 96. Fort Williams, one of the most contested sites in the entire American Revolution. It was attacked twice by Bill Cunningham. It was had 2 battles that occurred. The Battle of Fort Williams, which happened 3 months before the Battle of Mudlick Creek. It was occupied by Patrick Ferguson on his way to Kings Mountain. When Nathaniel Greene broke the siege at 96, he stayed the first night at Fort Williams on his way to the high hills of the Santee, but he was right here. With the Tories at Fort Williams, one group that was left behind in the 96th district was Benjamin Roebuck's battalion of the Spartan Regiment. And Benjamin Roebuck and his battalion performed heroically at Cowpens. But he's left behind. And then we've got these Tories here at Fort Williams. And we don't know a single one of those Tories, who they were. They left no record whatsoever of this battle. Second in command to Benjamin Roebuck was Henry White. And he was a very capable officer as well. And Roebuck had White send a feint towards Fort Williams. And so Henry White, charged them. There was some activity from Fort Williams, and Henry White retreated. He acted like he was running away, and the garrison from Fort Williams then turned and followed him. And they went down the course of Mudlick Creek, which travels through Newberry County. And it was a shooting gun battle all the way. Benjamin Roebuck was wounded. He was shot in the shoulder, and he was captured, and he remained a prisoner of war for the duration, and he had very poor health for the rest of his life as a result of that. So there weren't a lot of casualties in the Battle of Mudlick Creek. But one casualty that we do know is Robert Thomas. And Robert Thomas was the son of John Thomas Sr., who is the founder of the Spartan Regiment. And the Spartan Regiment was one of the most distinguished units throughout the entire Revolutionary War. They fought heroically. John Thomas Sr. was captured, and he was put in prison in the 3-story brick jail at 96. And while he was there, his famed rifle that was made by a Spartanburg gunsmith, who we don't know who he was, his rifle was passed down to Robert Thomas. And so now Robert Thomas has that rifle, and he's fighting against the Loyalists at the Battle of Mudlick Creek, and Robert Thomas gets killed. And that's right here. But what the Tory is looking at is the rifle laying beside Robert Thomas. And that rifle had very distinctive markings on it. It had a silver escutcheon right on the stock. Together we are one. 13 pointed star. So the Tories and the Loyalists who recovered this rifle was so impressed with it that they passed it up their chain of command. And it went up so far along the chain of the command till it was sent to London. And there it was presented to Prince George IV. And that rifle today is so valued by the British armament collectors that it is now in the Royal Arms Collection at the Windsor Castle. It is a constant reminder to the British forces of just exactly why the British lost in the American Revolution. We don't know the full extent of what happened at Mudlick Creek. The records are scant. We do know of Benjamin Roebuck getting wounded and captured and Robert Thomas being killed. We don't have really further information beyond that. Some folks refer to this as a Patriot victory. Other folks say no. And another name for this battle is Roebuck's defeat. Benjamin Roebuck certainly suffered badly, and he was a great leader. He suffered badly in this battle, but in the great scheme of things, it really had not that much of effect on the war as it occurred in the backcountry of South Carolina.